Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Data Analytics with Career Guidance course. And today we are in day 4 of SQL Server training. So, what are we learning today in the training? Let me just tell you. Today we'll be learning order by and group by. Okay. So, what is this order by? What is this group by? Let me brief you and then we'll start the session. Order by is actually used for sorting the data what we have extracted. When I say sorting, it can be ascending or descending order. Group by means you're trying to group all the common values and aggregate the values, that is the number field. Let's go and see the queries how we can use this order by and group by class. And I want all of you please concentrate. It is very easy and it is very simple as well, provided you should understand it logically. Okay, let me minimize this. Then we'll go to this SQL Server. I'm already connected. So again and again, I'll not teach you how to connect. Let's go to this database and we'll be using what? We'll be using this one, DB DA underscore July 2023. So what should we do? First, we'll say new query. And then first thing what we should do, use DB underscore July. Oh, I'll just use this so that if I have multiple database, this is what it will be enabled. So not everyone has to do it. Suppose if you have only one database, don't worry, you can just ignore this. But if you have multiple database, I keep teaching with a lot of batches, right? So I'll be keep adding the database here. So I require this. Right. First thing is order by. We did so many queries in select statement, so many, so many say queries we had written. But when I actually extract the data, did you see that there were no, the data was actually not sorted. Now what we'll do, we'll go here and we'll see how we can sort the extracted data. First, we'll see a simple select statement, select star from orders. And let me execute this. We just see when I execute the data, what we have extracted here, see. For example, let's take this customer name. See this customer name, it's not sorted properly. Now let me sort it. When I want to sort for the same queries what I've written, I will add order by. When I give order by, it will ask for what is the column, which is the column we need to sort. Say customer name. Select this. That's it. Select start from orders. I'll say order by. Let me select this. Press F5. Now I can see customer name. It is getting sorted by ascending order. Now, how did this system know? How did this query know that it has to order in ascending order only? I'll tell you. When I give this order by and the column name, by default, the column which we have specified will be sorted by ascending order, unless and until I mention whether it is ascending or descending order. It will always get sorted by ascending order if I'm not mentioning anything. Now, how to specify that? I need the column to be sorted as ascending order. Just mention ASC. ASC means ascending order. Now I will press F5. I'll get the same result. Let me copy this. I want to sort this by descending order. Now I will say DESC. This is for descending order. Let me select this. I'll say F5. You can see that the customer name column got sorted in descending order. Now, this is what is ascending or descending order. This is what is order by. That's all. There is nothing advanced. There is nothing like, you have to break your head for learning this order by. Order by is that's all. Where all we can use, I will just tell one by one for all the different data type column so that you'll understand when to use, how to use this say order by class for text column, number column, and date column. Right. Let me select. Let's try to select. Okay. Order date. Same query what we took for our previous examples. I'll take the same query. Region, state, sales. Select order date, region, state, sales, profit from orders. Now, if I select this and if I press execute, the data is getting sorted. Now, I want to sort region. What I'll do, let me select this query. Now, after this from, I'll use order by. Which column I need to sort? I'll say region. Now, if you just see the order, select columns from table name, order by region. That is, I am ordering the data by this region column, select. See, now the data has been sorted by region. That is ascending order. You can see that I'm not mentioned anything here, whether it is ascending or descending order. By default, it will be ascending order. Now, suppose select, I want to specify it has to be sorted by ascending order. You have to mention ASC. Now, if I select execute, it will be ascending order only. Right. What if I want to sort this by descending order? Go here. Here we'll say descending order. Select. Right. Okay. Usually for text columns, it is a good practice to sort the data by ascending order. Okay. It's not always it is compulsory. I'm just telling it's a good practice that the text column should be in ascending order. Now, what if I want to sort in two levels? If you have worked on the Excel sorting, we have different levels. We'll go select the columns and we'll sort the data. Similarly, suppose if you want to sort the data for multiple levels, when I say levels, that is nothing but the columns which you are actually specifying. I need to sort the data by region. After that, I need to sort the data by state. That is level 2. Now I'll give state. Now, do I need to sort the data by ascending order? I'll say ASC. Let me select this F5. You can see the data is getting sorted by region. First by region, then after that by state. You can see that slowly for each region, say first the region will be sorted. Within that region, the state will be sorted. But do I need to specify this ASC? Usually what we do is as and when we keep, practicing, and once we become a little more expert, so we don't specify this. If it is ascending order, unless and until it is descending order. All right. So we understood about how we can have the multiple levels. So you can keep adding the levels. We can add even the numbers also. But first we'll see how we can sort the numbers and then we can have multiple levels. Now let me select this order by. Let's say I want to sort the number column. Usually what we do, we'll say sales. For the numbers, we use descending order. Let me select this. See now, the sales column have been sorted descending order. Let me copy this, paste it. Can I do this ascending order? Yes, you can do the number column in ascending order as well. It's the same thing. See, the data has been sorted in ascending order. Usually for number columns, we use descending order. But sometimes we also use this for ascending order as well. When I'll tell you, suppose I have, say, what is that serial number? We have one column. Let me just check what is that column for that. Okay, row ID. Okay, so let's go here. I have this row ID. So if you see, row ID is number. Let me give this row ID. Okay, now I have this row ID. Let me select F5. You can see that the row ID. We'll try to sort this row ID by ascending order. Now let's go here instead of the sales. Mention row ID. Now this will be ascending order. Select this. See, the row ID has been sorted. Right? Okay. Now you have to decide which column I need to sort. If I'm selecting a column to sort, whether it should be ascending or descending order. So there is no rule that you have to use ascending or descending order always. I'm just telling you the best practice and usually what we actually do. All right, the next one. Next one we'll see how to sort the data by column, that is date. We paste. Okay. Now we have this order date. Just mention the column. That's all. Now this will be ascending order. When I say ascending order, this is oldest to newest. When I say oldest to newest, that means the oldest date will be on top, the newest date will be in the bottom. So if I go and check the C, from 2015 to 2018 is what we have the date. Can I do this descending order? Yes, we can do that as descending order as well. I'll go here, I'll say DESC, and I'll select this, say F5. See, the latest date will come on top, the oldest date will be in the bottom. So what does that mean? If you just compare with Excel, we have three different data types, that is text, number, and date. In text, it says A to Z or Z to A. For numbers, it says highest to lowest or lowest to highest, or say smallest to largest or largest to smallest. But for date, it says oldest to newest or newest to oldest. You go and check in Excel. Similarly, here in SQL, we use this ascending or descending order. Okay. All right. So we understood for different columns how actually the sorting is done, but we have only descending or ascending order, which we can apply this for any of the columns. Depending on the situation, depending on the data, we need to select whether it is ascending or descending order. Done. Now, this is what we have done for selecting the data. But what if I'm filtering the data? Let me take this query. I will remove this order. So this is my query. Now I need to filter some data where sales is greater than or equal to 1000. Now let me select this. I'll say F5. You can see that I filtered the data. where the sales is greater than or equals to 1000. Let me copy this, paste it. Now I'll try to sort this. Where sales is greater than or equals to 1000, I'll say order by sales column. What does that says? See, effect. Now you just see, I filtered the data by using where clause. After that, I'm using this order by, where it gives me the column sorted by sales. So it is structured like this. First, select columns from table. Then if you have any filters, please use where clause, and after that use order by. So you need to maintain this syntax. You need to maintain this order. Select column names from table name, where if you have any fields to be filtered, and then after that order by. Now suppose if you want to use text column in this, where sales is greater than or equals to 1000, order by, okay. First we'll say sorted by region. And again, there is no rule that you have to use the column, region, sales, or whatever columns you want. There is no such rule that which has to come first, but you have to decide depending on the levels. So if you want first level to be region, I'll give region, and I want that to be ascending order. I will go here, I'll specify this AS. I prefer use this ASC or DASC because it will be specific that if someone actually sees your query, they'll know that, okay, this is ascending or descending order. Once you become experienced, that is not required, but still, as a good practice, use this. I maintain this practice so that if not me, if someone else is actually taking the project, then you can go and you can check that whether it is ascending or descending order. It will be very easy for us to recognize the column order. Now I'll say sales in descending order. F. See, first by central, then it goes on with the other regions. So first region, and then within that region, we have this sales. See, if you go here and check, see, central. So here it stops the sorting of the sales. Then after that, again, for east, it starts. Now suppose I want a region within that state, and after that sales, then go here, let me select. I'm just copying all the queries step by step so that I can give this to you in Notepad. Go here. After this, I'll say state. Let's see. See, first region, then after that state. So within each states, the sorting will happen. Now you can see that from year till year is getting sorted. After that, again, new value will start. So slowly, it goes on like this. So likewise, you can decide your sorting levels as well. If you want to add one date, so within that date also you can go here and can add one date as well. But here it will be very less data. So if you add date, it will be like, for small range of values, the data will be right. Okay, this is order by. So when I use order by, make sure that you use this order by after where clause. All right. Now let me talk about group by. Group by means you're trying to group the values and aggregate the columns which are number columns. Let's see how to do this. Let me select one column. Select region. orders. Okay, I'll select region. If I select this and execute, I'll get this region here. You can see that I'm getting this region. I want to group these values. When I say group, all the common values will be grouped. So how to do that? Let me just go here. Here I'll say group by. Now just observe, I mentioned it as group by, and I'll mention the column name. Now let me select this and I'll say execute. See, all the common values will become 1. This is called as grouping. Now suppose I'll take one number column, sales. Let me go here and I'll say sales. You just observe the total number of records what we have is 9,994 records. Why I'm actually telling this is, now you see I'm taking one number column and I'll say execute. You can see I'm getting 6,144 records. That means the numbers are also getting grouped. See, I'm using this word grouped. I'll tell you later on, there are so many things what you have to learn. When I say group, all the common values will be grouped. It will become 1. But for me, the number columns should be aggregated. When I say aggregated, it has to be calculated. It should not be like remove all the common values and just give me only one value. It's not like that. So we'll come to this number column later. Why I mentioned this number column is number columns grouping should happen in a different way, not like this. Right. So let me go here. I'll copy this. Okay, I'm copying this. We'll keep this number column aside for some time. I will finish this. Comma. I have this select region. Now I want to add one more column. Let's say I'll add category. Now you just observe, I mentioned select region category from orders group by. I want to group this table, whatever I'm actually taking this data to be grouped by region. Now I'll select this and I'll say FI. You see, it will throw error. Why? Because whatever columns I've selected here, I've selected region, I've selected category. That means these two columns should be grouped together. Whatever columns I select here in this section here, say select region category, go here, we have to mention all the columns. Now, if I select and say FI, you can see that both the columns are getting grouped. Right. Now you can see that I'm getting this region and category. So whatever columns you mention in select column, please mention that in the group by as well. Let me select this. You can see that the column is not sorted. So group by, I'll say order by. Order by what? I'll say region. Let me select this. And then I'll say FI. Now you can see. So what does that mean? First, select region category. They are the columns. Select columns from table, group by, whatever group by I can do. And after that, I'll say order by. That means all this has to be in some sequence, some orders. You cannot use order by in the beginning and then group by after that. It will throw error because first what it will do, it will select the columns and then it will group and then after that it will sort the data. So in order by, it depends on me, which are columns I need to sort. But group by, it's not like that. We have to mention all the columns to be grouped. All right. Now, let's take one column now. I'll not take this category. I don't want this category. Okay. I need to take sales, comma. I'll mention sales. Now, if I run this, you just observe, I'll run this. It will throw error because Even sales has to be taken in the group section. Now what I'll do, I'll take this sales. You just observe, I will select this and I will run this. The value what I'm getting here is combination of region and sales. That is, it's taking the common value and then it is grouping. But again, this is not the thing what I wanted. I want this sales to be aggregated. That is, wherever I have this central, the total value of central should be calculated and given. Wherever I have other states, other regions, it has to be calculated. So in this case, for the columns which you need to aggregate, see, grouping means all the common values will be taken and will be taken as one value. But when I say aggregate, that means it is getting calculated. So what I have to do, I'll go here, instead of using this like this, I'll use sum of sales. I'm using this sum. Sum is a function, aggregate function. I'll say sum of sales. And now I will remove this from this group by clause. So this is how we have to use the calculated columns. This column is actually a calculated column. Now I'll select this. I'll say FI. You can see I'm getting the total of all the regions. That is, you can see that all these values have become grouped. So the region is grouped and here this is aggregated. You see here it says no column name. The sum of sales what I've taken, this is actually not a column which is there in the table. Sales is a column which is there in the table, but sum of sales is not a column in the table. It is a calculated column which we have created by using grouping function sum. This doesn't have a name. What should I do? I'll tell you. You have to give one alias name, as I'll say total sales. Select FIC total sales. Now you can see that I got this column header as well. Right. Suppose if you want to get even profit as well, then what I'll do? Comma, we go here, say sum of profit as total profit. Select, say F. Now what if I want to add one more column here? That is, let's add category. Region, comma, category. Let me select this FI. See, now the grouping will happen based on East and office supplies and then total sales for these two combinations. So as and when you keep adding the values, it will be keep adding the columns, the grouping, the aggregate values also will keep getting changed. All right. Now we understood how we can actually group the values and aggregate the values. What if I want to sort? Now I want to sort the data by sales. You just observe, I'll say order by and I'll say sales. Okay, select and say F. This will not work. Why? Because the data has been grouped. So whenever you group, you cannot take the direct columns to sort it like this. So what should I do? I have to take this sum of sales. Because the query is group by query, now I'll say sum of sales. Now I'll try to sort. See now, it's getting sorted by ascending order. What if you want to sort this by descending order? That is same. I'll say DESC. See, like this. So we understood how we can actually group the values, how we can actually aggregate the values, and also we saw how we can sort the data. So always the data should be grouped by, after that order by. Right. Let me write one more. Same thing. But this time I'll use another column. Let's say we'll take out all this. Let me take customer name. Okay. And here we'll remove all this. Try to use this customer name. Okay. Select customer name from the table, group by customer name. Let's say how many customers are there? 793 customers are there, unique customers. Now I'll try to get the sales for each customer. I'll tell you why I'm actually using this query, comma. Then we know that sum of sales. As total sales. Right? Now, let me select this and say F5. We can see that it says 793 records with all the total sales value. I need to sort this. So what I'll do, if you want to sort this, copy this and we'll try to paste it. Here we'll say order by, and then we'll give sales. Now for sales, I'll say sum of sales. Right. Now, if I go here, if I sort the data, the F5, you can see that the data is getting sorted. Usually we need to sort it by descending order. Select, let's say F5. Right. Now we understood about how we can group the values, sort the values, and also we saw, the queries like this. Now I want to filter. Till this time, if you see the group by queries, we didn't use filters. But now we'll see how we can filter the data. You know that filter means what? Where clause. We use where clause and then we'll filter. Now where clause will come after this from. Let me copy this. And just paste it just below this. Okay. Now here I'll say where, just observe, sales is greater than or equal to 1000. So this is what we used to do. Now we just observe, let me select this. Let's say Fi. I'm getting this value. See, I'm getting 339 rows. Now, when I use this where clause, just observe, you need to understand the logic. When I say where sales is greater than or equals to 1000, that means first it will filter all the values in the table where the sales value is greater than or equals to 1000. It will filter and then it will group the values based on the extraction what we have done. Now, let me do the same query. So here, you just observe how many records are there. We have 339 rows. Let me paste it here. This time, I'll remove this values. After this group by, I'll say having. I'll tell you what is this having. Sum of sales. Okay, is greater than. Let me just check if you have 1000. Okay. We'll give the same criteria, greater than or equals to 1000. Let me select this and I'll say execute. See, I'm getting 626 rows. The previous query, we had got 300 change something, but now I'm getting 626. So what does that mean? In this query, first the table is getting filtered by 1000, like this. See, it is giving me only the values which are greater than or equal to 1000, and then the grouping is happening. But in this query, the grouping is happening first. Say it will group, the entire table is grouped, In that, it is trying to take the values that is greater than or equals to 1000. So whatever value I'm getting here, on this, the filters are happening. So now you have to decide whether the filter should happen in the table and then group, or it has to group and then filter. If you want the data to be filtered from the table itself, then use this where clause after from. If you want to group, if you want to filter the data after grouping, then use having. So having and where both work similar. Having will work for the grouped data, where will work for the table data. So that if you keep in mind, this group by is very easy. Okay. All right. Now, next, whatever we learned here is for sum. That is, sum is a function which gives me the total. Now, I want the same thing for average as well. So we have, different functions here. That is sum, average, minimum, maximum, count. Now let's go here and say select region from orders. I'll not use all those queries. That is where order by and all those things. I'll just show you how this average, minimum, maximum count will work. Group by region. I want to get the average of sales. I'll use function avg open bracket sales as average sales. Select FIC, we'll get this average. I want to get sum. Sorry, I've already done sum. I want maximum, say MAX. Here I'll mention max sales. Select F. In east, what is the maximum? South, what is the maximum? West, central. So it will give me the maximum value. Next, minimum. Is the minimum value. Count. Suppose I want to count how many times the regions are repeating. Over here, I'll say count. You can give any column here now because this will only give me how many times the region, whatever the the grouped values are there, the group column is there. For that, we'll get the count. Let me select this. And if I say FIC, it will give me the count of each region. If you want to combine all the aggregate functions, you can do like this. Select region from orders. Okay. Group by region. Now here I'll say sum of sales. Yes. First I'll put all the columns here. After that, we'll give the column name. Okay. Sum, then AVG, then max, min, count. Here we'll say as total sales, comma. Copy this. Okay. So this will take it as average sales. Max, min, count. Let me select this. And I'll say F1. Let's select F1. See? So this is how actually we can use this aggregate functions. Right? So this is what we have for today, that is order by and group by. Okay. So whenever you're writing the query, try to understand the syntax. Select column names from table name. This is what you have to understand first. After that, what are we actually doing? Suppose if you want to filter, I'll use where clause. Suppose if you want to sort, I'll use order by. Suppose if you want to group the data, I'll say group by. Now within that, if you want to filter the data and then group, then go use where clause. Suppose if you want to group and then filter, use having clause. Again, in sorting, we have ascending or descending order. So you have to decide what actually we are writing in the queries. So check that query, understand that query, and then write the query. Okay. All right. So this is what we have for today. Now, I'll take 1 minute of yours quickly. How was today's session? And then after that, I'll take your questions. I think there are some questions already flowing. I'll answer all your questions. But I want all of you, tell me how was today's session? Quickly. Good. Thanks, Pinky, Mohan, Swati. What happened to others? See, there are 22 people. At least 50% should answer, right? Yeah. Kiran, Tanuja, Ajay. Thank you so much. Good. Thanks, Amir. Thanks, Bharat. Kushal. People, again and again, I'm telling you, it is not because I will get something very praised. Okay. It is just to understand how much you people have understood my sessions. That's all. Okay. Good. Santosh, Teja. Thank you so much. Okay. Thanks, people. See, again, I'm telling this is not, you are praising me or I'm getting very proud of it. It's not like that. Whenever I ask any, the feedback, I actually feel that whether you people have understood or not. Okay. So when I ask something, just try to interact again and again. I'm telling you people, not in my session. Suppose if you don't want to answer anything in my session, but again, whenever you are attending any sessions, any other sessions also, try to interact, try to at least respond. I'll tell you what happens. That is the respect what actually you give to people when they actually ask you something. Okay. And build these kind of qualities in you that actually give you a very good professionalism, very good relationship with not only in career, even in the personal life also. Okay. All right. Now the questions. Now already there is a question from Gangadhar. Can I go with order by total sales instead of sum of sales? Can we use this alias name column? No, you cannot use. See, alias name is just to name the columns. That is just to recognize the columns what we have created in the columns. This will not be considered as a technical column, or say, it is not considered as a column at all. It is just a name what we are giving. So when I give it alias name, that alias name is not considered in order by or by anywhere. It will not be considered. Okay, so you have to use the sum of sales only, or any of the aggregated function you have used. Only that we have to use. Right, like Power BI, we have PL3. And is there any certification for SQL Server? Yes, it is there. It is there for SQL Server as well. If anybody wants to take the exam, let me know. I'll just check. We are not authorized for that, but I will surely check and I'll let you know if you want to take the exams. All right. Any other questions, people? Truncate and alter. No, truncate is something different. Alter is to modify. Truncate is actually for separating. Alter, what we actually do is we actually try to alter the columns. say for example, now I have one column which we have created. Okay. Now what happens when I try to modify a column? We need to modify what the column names. The name is not proper. So I want to modify it. At the same time, suppose if you want to modify the data type or the size of the data type, then we use this, the alter. Okay. But truncate is something like what we do, like removing or say, separating, something like that. Drop is to delete. Say drop means it is for objects. So drop table name. Okay. But when I said delete is for the data. So we are still yet to come with these things. Okay. We'll come to that. When I said drop, that means for the object. Say I want to drop a database. I want to drop the table. I want to drop the procedure. But when I say delete is actually for deleting the data. Say, for example, now we have the data in the table. Okay, so we can delete the data by using delete commands. Drop is to drop. Okay, what is the difference between MS Access, SQL queries, and SQL Server? See, SQL queries are same. Okay, so when I say SQL, it is a language. It is same for all the RDBMS, that is the softwares what we use. But there are some functionalities. Each software will have their own functionalities sometimes. When I say functionalities, say they'll have, say in one, say in SQL Server, we have stored procedure. In Access, we don't have stored procedure. But if you go to this MySQL, they have some procedures where we can write the procedure. So each SQL will have their own functionalities. That is extra functionalities. But most of the thing SQL language is same in all the language, all the programs, I mean the softwares. Right. Any other questions, people? All right. So don't worry. We'll use all these comments, whatever you mentioned, drop, delete, truncate. Okay. So all this, we can actually try to understand one by one. Still, there are so many sessions actually. Okay. So we just started with the functions. So tomorrow also we'll work on the functions and then slowly we'll go with more other queries as well. Okay. Right, people? Thank you, Rakshit. Thank you, Mohan. Okay. So thanks a lot, all of you, for attending the sessions, and then have a great week ahead. I'll meet you tomorrow with more interesting, little more complex queries. We'll slowly increase the complexity. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, all of you. See you guys tomorrow in SQL Server Day 5 session. Take care. Bye-bye.